The 1975 United States 1-cent coin, also known as a Lincoln Memorial penny, is one of the most fascinating pieces of American coinage history, not because it is made of precious metal, but because of the story it carries, the era it represents, and the numismatic value it holds today. The 1975 penny was struck at a time when the U.S. Mint was producing billions of 1-cent coins to meet the needs of commerce. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse front of the coin proudly displays the profile of President Abraham Lincoln, a design first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. Above his head, we see the timeless motto, "In God We Trust." On the left side appears the word liberty, and to the right is the date 1975 without any mint mark, which indicates that this coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, since Philadelphia did not use a mint mark during this period. The reverse side of the 1975 penny is equally significant. It showcases a Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 on the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and the 50th anniversary of the Lincoln Cent itself. The top of the reverse reads, "United States of America." Beneath it appears the motto, "E pluribus unum," meaning out of many one. And at the bottom is a denomination 1 cent. If you look carefully at the memorial design under magnification, you can actually see the tiny statue of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial, making this coin one of the few U.S. coins to depict the same person on both sides. This little detail adds to the charm and appeal for collectors worldwide. In terms of composition, the 1975 Lincoln Cent was struck in the traditional bronze alloy used at the time, consisting of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This composition gave the penny its distinct reddish-brown appearance. It is also worth noting that pennies after 1982 were changed to a predominantly zinc core with only a thin copper plating, making the pre-1982 bronze cents, like the 1975 penny, more desirable to collectors and investors who value the higher copper content. Each 1975 penny weighs 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. While these details may seem standard, they are important when distinguishing genuine coin from counterfeits or altered pieces. The mintage of the 1975 Lincoln penny was massive, with over 5.4 billion coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint alone. Because of this high production, most 1975 pennies are considered common in circulated grades such as fine, very fine, or even extremely fine. The coin in fine condition, which means moderate wear but with all major details visible and clear, is not considered rare, but it still carries interest for collectors who are assembling year-by-year sets of Lincoln Memorial cents. Collectors especially appreciate coins with original color and minimal damage, since pennies are prone to heavy wear, scratches, and corrosion due to their long circulation life. When it comes to value in today's market, a standard 1975 Lincoln penny, without mint mark and fine condition, is typically worth between 5 cents and 15 cents, which is slightly above its face value, mainly due to its copper content and collector demand. However, uncirculated examples in higher grades, especially those with brilliant red luster, can command significantly higher prices. A mint state example, MS-65 or higher, can sell anywhere between $5 to $20, and in exceptionally rare conditions, certified examples have been known to reach even higher. Furthermore, special varieties and errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planchet, can increase the value into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on rarity and demand. In conclusion, the 1975 Lincoln Memorial penny, without mint mark, stands as a symbol of American history, artistry, and everyday commerce. While its base value in fine condition today may only be a few cents above face value, its importance goes far beyond monetary worth. It tells the story of Abraham Lincoln's enduring legacy, the evolution of U.S. coinage, and the transition of America's economy during the 1970s. For many collectors, even a common 1975 penny is a treasured piece of their collection, reminding us that not all value lies in rarity or precious metal, but often in the story a small copper coin has carried through the decades. The 1975 Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin of the United States of America, without any mint mark, is not just an ordinary copper piece, but a time capsule of American history, a coin that reflects the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, the economic backdrop of the 1970s, and the unmatched scale of U.S. mint production. On its obverse side, we see the dignified bust of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by the talented engraver Victor David Brenner, whose initials VB are subtly placed at the bottom of Lincoln's shoulder. Above Lincoln's head is inscribed the sacred national motto, "In God We Trust," a phrase that symbolizes America's spiritual foundation and unity. To the left of Lincoln's portrait is the word liberty, standing for the very values for which Lincoln lived and died, while to the right of his portrait is the date 1975, a date that places a coin in a very specific chapter of America's economic and cultural journey. The absence of a mint mark tells us clearly that this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the oldest minting facility of the United States, which during this year alone contributed billions of pennies into circulation. On the reverse, we witness the striking image of the Lincoln Memorial, a design that had been adopted in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and the 50th anniversary of the Lincoln Cent itself. Around the top arching letters we read, "United States of America." Beneath it in smaller font rests the Latin motto, "E pluribus unum," translating to "out of many one," a powerful phrase highlighting unity within diversity. At the bottom of the coin, the denomination 1 cent is engraved boldly, leaving no doubt about its value. If you look carefully at the steps of the memorial through magnification, you can actually see the engraved statue of Lincoln inside, making this coin one of the rare instances in world coinage where the same individual is depicted on both sides of coin, a design detail collectors never fail to admire. The 1975 Lincoln Cent was minted in the classic bronze composition of the era, consisting of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, a metallic recipe that gives the coin its rich reddish-brown tone and makes it significantly more substantial than the modern post 1982 cents that are merely copper-plated zinc. Each coin weighs 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter, technical specifications that have remained constant for decades, but became especially important after the 1980s when copper became too expensive for the mint to continue using in such high quantities. The mintage of the 1975 penny is staggering. Over 5.4 billion pieces rolled out of Philadelphia mint presses. Yet despite this massive production, these coins remain deeply appreciated by collectors because they still carry the original heavy bronze composition that is no longer produced. In fine condition, which means a coin shows moderate wear but still retains all major details of Lincoln's portrait and the Lincoln Memorial design, a 1975 penny may not be exceedingly rare, yet it carries an undeniable charm as part of a larger numismatic collection. On today's collector market, such a coin in fine condition is generally valued at 5 cents to 15 cents, which is several times its face value when considered against its copper content alone. However, this is only the entry-level valuation, because examples in higher grades, uncirculated pieces with bright original luster, can fetch $5 to $20 or even higher when certified by professional grading services. Rare errors, such as double die obverse varieties, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or coins struck on the wrong metal blanks, can propel the value of a 1975 penny into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars, turn what seems like a simple cent into a highly valuable collectible. This coin, therefore, is more than just a piece of pocket change. It is a representation of American artistry, minting excellence and historical continuity, a coin that still circulates among billions, yet stands out to the trained eye of the collector. In short, the 1975 Lincoln Cent without mint mark in fine condition may appear modest in monetary terms today, but its deeper worth lies in its story, its heritage, and its place within the great tapestry of United States coinage, making an enduring favor among those who know how to look beyond mere numbers and see the priceless history a coin carries with it that next. The 2004 1-cent coin of the United States of America is part of the long-running Lincoln Cent series, which has been continuously struck since 1909 in honor of President Abraham Lincoln, the nation's 16th president and one of its most iconic leaders. The obverse of the coin features a classic portrait of Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, showing his dignified profile facing right with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 2004 to the right, along with a small D mint mark placed below the date to indicate that it was struck at the Denver Mint. The reverse side of the coin in 2004 still carried the long-standing design of the Lincoln Memorial, introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. With the word United States of America arching across the top, the denomination 1 cent boldly at the bottom, and the motto E Pluribus Unum centered above the memorial. Within the design, if examined closely, the tiny figure of the Lincoln statue can be seen inside the memorial itself, a detail often admired by collectors for precision on such a small surface. The coin is composed of a copper-plated zinc planchet weighing 2.5 grams, with a diameter of 19 millimeters and a plain edge, part of the composition shift that occurred in 1982 when copper became too costly and the mint changed to zinc cores with a thin copper layer. In terms of production, the Denver Mint struck a very high mintage in 2004, numbering in the billions, making the coin a common circulation piece. The Philadelphia Mint also struck coins without a mint mark, and both versions are widely encountered today. Because of such large mintages, the 2004 D penny is not rare in circulation, and most pieces found in everyday use show heavy wear, scratches, or dull color from years of handling. However, coins that are in fine condition F12 grade, meaning the major details of Lincoln's portrait are clear but show moderate wear, still hold some collectible interest. In today's numismatic market in 2025, a regular 2004 1-cent coin without a mint mark in fine condition is generally valued at its face value 1 cent, as billions were made and supply greatly exceeds collector demand. Even the 2004 D, unless in uncirculated or special error form, trades at face value. Higher values only appear when coins are preserved in mint state condition, MS65 or higher, or when they display mint errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or dramatic misalignments. Some rare error coins from 2004 have sold for anywhere between $50 to several $100s, depending on severity of the error and collector demand. But for a typical 2004 1 cent without mint mark in fine condition, the fair market value is just 1 cent in 2025, meaning that while it may not carry high monetary worth, it remains a fascinating and historically rich piece of American coinage that still connects collectors and everyday people to the enduring image of Abraham Lincoln and the minting traditions of the United States. The 2004 United States 1 cent coin is a remarkable part of the Lincoln Cent series, which by 2004 had already been in production for nearly a century and was still the backbone of small change in American currency, circulating the billions and carrying forward the enduring portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the man remembered as the great emancipator and one of the most celebrated figures in U.S. history. On the obverse side, Victor David Brenner's classic portrait of Lincoln, first introduced in 1909, remains untouched and powerful, depicting the president's right-facing bust with fine details of his hair, cheek, and coat, even though on coins in fine circulated condition, these details may appear flattened or worn down. Above Lincoln's head runs a national motto, "In God We Trust." To the left sits Liberty, and on the right we see the date 2004. In Denver-made coins, the letter D rests just below the date, while coins minted in Philadelphia bear no mint mark, making them the standard issue without a mint designation. The reverse side of the coin in 2004 still showed the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Asparo in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. And this design had itself become iconic over the decades, with a tiny statue of Lincoln visible between the central columns of the memorial, a miniature masterpiece many people overlook. Encircling this design are the inscriptions United States of America across the top, E Pluribus Unum above memorial, and the denomination 1 cent boldly at the bottom. The coin has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, a weight of 2.5 grams, and a plain edge struck on a copper-plated zinc planchet, a composition adopted in 1982, when the U.S. Mint shifted away from 95% copper cents due to rising metal costs. In terms of mintage, production numbers for 2004 were enormous. The Denver Mint struck well over 3.5 billion coins, while the Philadelphia Mint struck over 3.4 billion without mint mark, meaning that in total more than 7 billion pennies entered circulation that year, ensuring that the 2004 penny is one of the most common modern coins in existence. Because of these vast mintages, the coin holds little numismatic premium in circulated grades. Most examples, especially those in fine condition F12, Where Lincoln's outline is sharp but much inner detail is worn, are only worth face value of 1 cent in today's market in 2025. Collectors typically seek out higher grade examples, such as MS-65 Red or higher, which can sell for $10 to $25, while coins graded MS-67 Red by PCS or NGC can reach $100 to $300 due to their rarity and superb condition. In addition, error coins from 2004 are the true gems for collectors. Double die obverse, misaligned dies, broad strikes, and off-center strikes can bring values ranging from $50 to several $1,000s, depending on rarity and visibility of the error. But for a regular 2004 cent without mint mark and fine condition, the reality remains that it carries only nominal monetary value, just 1 cent. Yet its cultural and historical importance goes far beyond that tiny denomination. Every such coin is a living witness of the early 21st century economy, a small artifact of mass production and national identity, a reminder of Lincoln's legacy, and part of a series that would only 5 years later, in 2009, undergo a complete redesign to honor the bicentennial of Lincoln's birth.